Roger? Yeah, good. We're back. Yeah, take us for a little walk.
Well, you walk over there and then just through us
I only brought it because it was...
Should I be smiling?
Yeah, please.
Okay. I have it in my hand.
Okay, here's your life jacket.
Okay, and throw it in.
We'll put you in this guy over here. Now, do you want...
Join us.
Well, I could be in the middle of that boat, but I think somebody duffing in this boat is better.
Do you want to? Oh yeah, he's
Lie
gonna
down.
be good.
Good boy.
Sit,
Yeah,
sit,
he's
sit,
pretty good.
sit,
Just sit down. Good boy, sit down.
sit, sit.
Good boy. Good boy.
Well, we are approaching the portage into Coochie Lake. It's an 800-meter portage. I would say the average length of a portage in Algonquin Park, if you took the entire park, would be over a kilometer. So this is a pretty standard length portage, but it's significant because we're actually climbing up to the height of land. So all the water that we're in right now on Smoke Lake is flowing out to the west, to the Great Lakes one way, and all the water flowing at the other side of this portage is flowing to the Ottawa River. Also the Great Lakes, but it's still a watershed crossing. And this was the portage that the famous explorer David Thompson in 1837 couldn't find. And as a result, he went way further south, but ended up coming back up to these lakes to find his way to the Ottawa River as he was going from Georgian Bay to the Ottawa. Now, that won't mean a lot for people from Iceland, but it's pretty cool stuff that this lake is quite connected to the history of exploration in this area.
Is there any reason why we shouldn't head off?
No?
Unless you want to put something in the blue pack sack to be carried.
No, I think we're good here.
So now your job, Jacob, is to get up and put your legs across the bow to support the boat.
I can take off my jacket.
So when they get heavier with age, this one's probably about 90 pounds now.
The reason I own it, because it was John Abercrombie's boat, that obsessive compulsive.
Yeah.
And on a trip down in Des Moines, I
It's getting better.
hit a rock and didn't
Let's
hit
just
very
stay there.
minorly the front.
Okay, we better paddle up.
It was no longer acceptable, so I purchased it.
Up on something. Go.
Okay.
We're off like a herd of turtles.
Elastic, something's on the boat
Yeah.
attacks.
Well, let's see how we do, Jim. We're a lot more weighty than those guys.
We have to go on the far side of that second log?
Yeah. The water levels, you know, they haven't dropped much. Now we're going to go straight.
I can't.
Oh, we might be. Hang on,
Okay.
we're going to maybe make it over that, maybe not. Let's try it.
Stay as close to this log over here
Yeah.
as you can.
Yeah. I hope we're going to be okay. There we go.
And when they're two good paddlers, we don't have to verbally communicate. Okay? We can communicate, you know, just I see what he's doing, to get his end around what he needs to. So that sends a signal to me on what I need to do to get my end. So we're heading about 1 o'clock.
Yep. Actually, we're heading 12 o'clock.
Okay. You can see his land, but if you look at how the trees slope down on one side and then up on the other side, that's often an indication that there's an opening or a portage right there. Okay. In this case, we're lucky because we have somebody who knows where it is. But if he didn't,
Yeah,
that's a help.
One of the many skills of canoe tripping in non-park areas where there are no signs is the art of reading the shoreline and knowing where the portage should be, and then reading the shoreline and finding that portage. It's not always straightforward, but
Gets over to it's 12 o'clock now.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I react quicker on the right side.
Yeah, and I react quicker on the left side.
Good.
There's that one, the single one, but that's right, it's finally a single one.
Now, Bob?
Not here. I'll tell you. Do you want me to tell you a story?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you a story. This is Little Island Lake, so this is the height of land. So the water on the water that we're now going into, you'll notice that we're going to go down river now, and this water is flowing to the Ottawa River, which is great because we've just crossed the height of land. And this island is at the top of the system, and the water coming where we've come from was
go
going
up
the
the
other direction,
Oxtongue,
and that was going to the Great Lakes, or to Georgian Bay on the Muskoka River. So this is
So smoke drains that way?
yeah.
And
This is the Little Island Lake is the plateau lake.
oh, interesting.
And why that's so cool was, as I was saying earlier, this is the portage that this is a portage system that David Thompson couldn't find, the explorer that was hired to find a route between those two big bodies of water, that being Georgian Bay and the Ottawa River. And he did this in the 1830s, and he was looking to build canals through here, if you can believe it.
Well, thank
because
heavens he didn't.
They didn't want they wanted travel routes that were far from the border because of the threat of the Americans. There's always a threat from the Americans.
Yeah.
There's still threats from the Americans.
But since we're going over a height of land, I think we should take Jacob through the height of land ceremony.
Yeah, there you go.
Which I hope involves lunch and cork.
Initiated voyageurs, okay, and just about to cross the height of land, okay, you need to go through the initiation ceremony. So both raise your right hand, please, and repeat after me. I, and then your name. I, Jakob,
I, Liz,
do solemnly swear.
do solemnly swear
Do solemnly
You can do it together.
Frequently,
Okay.
actually.
That I shall never cross the height of land
that I shall never cross the height of land
with an uninitiated voyageur
with an uninitiated voyageur
without taking them through the initiation ceremony.
without
taking us through
the initiation ceremony.
And I do further promise
And I do further promise
that I shall never kiss a voyageur's wife
that I shall never kiss a voyager's wife
without her permission.
without your permission.
You are now knighted as Northmen.
Thank you.
In fact, I can tell you, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total in the park. But they're all close to the highway. Hello. So now we're at the kind of center of Camp Tanamacoon, another camp in Algonquin Park. There are 7 in total. This is a all-girls camp. It too has its own set of long traditions, and they have a canoe tripping program as well. One interesting distinctive thing is the girls wear a uniform, grays and greens, and that seems to work. And they have tennis and basketball, so there's a sport element, but mostly it's waterfront based with a canoe tripping program. Here's their dining hall, which is closed down for the season. And right now they have an Artists in the Park program, and they've got 10 people here who are doing sketches. A lovely camp with a great tradition, and I'd send my daughter here in a second. We are at the Tanamacoon Council Ring. Most camps will have a council ring, and they created native programs in the 30s, 40s, and 50s and 60s, even into the 70s. And after that, the whole native programming thing started to get on shaky ground, as people thought maybe it's not appropriate for us to have native programs and be in a way mocking native programming, native ideas. So I'm not sure what camps have done, but most camps have revised their little white boys and girls acting like Indians. But that's the heart of what these council rings started as. But they are the main gathering points in camp for different kinds of programming, be it theaters or guest presentations, that kind of experience. And most camps have some place where they try to bring the entire camp together out of doors, so they're not doing it always in the dining hall. We have some ducks on our right. So what happens is that's a deer browse line, and in the winter they'll stand under those trees and reach up and eat, and they'll create a solid line of a uniform horizontal line across all the cedars, because that's as high as they can go, and we call it the browse line. So this lake would have the most cottages per size, whatever the word would be there, for its size.
Per kilometer shoreline.
Yeah, per kilometer of shoreline of any lake. They're also the collection of the oldest cottages.
Is that right?
Yeah, and they're, I'd say, the funkiest cottages.
You like them?
Oh yeah, they're old world cottages.
Okay.
They're, you know, they've been all built to hide themselves from the water.
Right.
This is as unpretentious as cottaging gets, I guess. I mean, you know, without being